Hey guys, welcome back to my PHI Games and History, and today we have a movie review. So if you don't know what this is, I watch lots of movies. I really like movies. I do. And I like collecting DVDs and stuff. So I kind of said, hey, how about us do a movie review of like movies I've watched lately. And so how this works is, it basically I don't spoil anything, but basically, what I do, first I talk about what kind of the movie's about. Then I go and then I was like going through the cast and actually kind of talk about what other movies they've been in and what you might recognize them and stuff like that. And then and at the end I usually talk about I give like my rating, and then I go and say like what I think of it and stuff like that. So this is the Reluctant Astronaut. So what's it about? It's about a guy who wants to be an astronaut, but he's afraid of heights. Yeah, that's basically the whole movie right there, and he gets drafted in. And yeah, that's basically the movie. It's a guy who wants to be an astronaut, but he's afraid of heights. So yeah, so let's get with the cast. Oh, whoops! But our first guy I forgot to put a picture on because I'm amazing is Don Knotts. Well, I guess you saw him right there, Don Knotts. Um, I've done I I think I've done I think the first episode of the series was Don Knotts and Ghost Mr. Chicken. So yeah. So he was born in 1924, died in 2006 in Los Angeles. Um, he was born in West Virginia, so yeah. So probably most famous for being on the Andy Griffith Show as being one of the deputies. And yeah, he's also in other movies like he's also in the TV show Three's Company after the Ropers left, and I said in the movie Ghost Mr. Chicken, which we did do an episode on this. I suggest you watch it. It was the first episode of the new series. Then he's in the Apple Dumpling Gang, in Shakiest Gun in the West, and many more. And like many more movies like Love God, How to Frame a Fig. He's a cameo in a Mad World. And no, I think there's one more Mad in there. And yeah, and he is in a whole bunch of movies and stuff. So next you have Leslie Nielsen. Well, I think he's a pretty famous guy. Born in Canada in 1926, died in Fort Lauderdale, Florida in 2010. Anyone that's probably knows him for being in the Naked Gun trilogy, all three movies of the Naked Gun, and also, well, probably most famous for being in the movie Airplane as the doctor, with the quote, "You surely can't be serious, but I am, and don't call me Shirley." It's probably the most famous quote ever. But then he was and also we actually did an episode on this too. The episode before we did Mr. Magoo. So yeah, it's our second one with Leslie Nielsen. He's also in the movie Forbidden Planet, which is actually one of the sci-fi movies. And it's Bobby the Robot, by the way. He's a pretty cool robot. And he's also in an episode of Alfred Hitchcock Presents an Hour, one of the two. And that's a good episode too. So next we have Arthur O'Connell. He plays the dad. He's actually most famous for being in the Poseidon Adventure. I don't remember him in being in that movie until I went back and looked at photos. I'm like, oh yeah, I know who that guy is. If I remember correctly, it's been like years since I've seen Poseidon Adventure. I think he's the husband of the old lady. Like the older couple who's going to visit their like grandson or something like that. He is also in two Elvis movies, Kissing Cousins, which I have done a album review on that. Well, not yet. What's coming up? I filmed it. It's actually scheduled to come out next year. That's how far ahead I'm on filming those. Yeah. And also in the movie Follow That Dream. That's and he's also pretty much famous for those too. So next we have the love interest, Joan Freeman. Um, she was actually born this. If you haven't, well, she was actually born just right across the river. Because if you're a regular viewer, it's kind of obvious I'm from Nebraska. But she was born right across the river in Council Bluffs, Iowa, literally right across the river. And she's currently 78 years old, born in 1942. Also in an Elvis movie, Roosevelt. I actually think we've actually talked about someone else from this movie or the same person before. I need to look at the other slideshows I made. But and she was also in the Friday the 13th, the final chapter, and a Roy Orbison movie. Yes, The Fastest Guitar Alive. Yeah, so I didn't know Roy Orbison had a movie. Um, yeah. So next we have Jesse White, and I'm trying to remember correctly. I think he's like the lead head janitor of the NASA place, if I remember correctly. He just had a cameo in which I just talked about earlier. It's a mad, mad, mad world. And yeah, this is personally, I think this is the most chaotic movie ever made. Right here, highly recommend it. If you have 3.5 hours of free time, yeah. So, so next you have the mom, Jeanette Nolan. Well, she was born in Los Angeles and died in Los Angeles in 1998, born 1911. She is probably most famous for being, well, in the movie that I'm talking about right now, but was also in the John Wayne and James Stewart movie, The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance. And it was in the movie The Fox and the Hound. And also in an Alfred Hitchcock Presents episode. And there's also Ironside, Bonanza, Psycho, another Alfred Hitchcock, and this. So that was pretty much our main cast. There's a lot of other people like kind of make cameos, kind of they're in for a handful of scenes. And I don't really like going through those people because then that just takes forever. I just do the main people. So what do I think about this movie overall? So what do I think about this overall? So overall, well, just by Google users, it says 95% like this movie, and it has 6.4 out of 10. And I don't know what Rotten Tomatoes said about this. So it's actually a pretty okay movie. I liked it a lot. It's kind of funny. It's one of my favorite Don Knotts movies, mostly because Les Nielsen's in there and he's awesome. It's funny as heck. But yeah. So I liked this movie a lot. It was good, entertaining. I thought it was kind of funny. So this is a nice family movie, and I said I filmed this like way ahead of time. So this is like June when I'm filming this. So depending on when this comes out, if coronavirus is still around, and I'm assuming this comes out like in September, October-ish. If there's no school, this would be a nice family kind of this is a nice family movie. Highly recommend it. And yeah, so as I said, it's a really nice family movie, and it's a short one too. It's only like an hour and a half, so it's not that long. And so yeah, so this movie, some background info. This movie was released in 1967. Was directed by Edward Montagan, and it was done by Universal Pictures in the box office, it had 1.5 million. So it was a pretty successful movie. It's a nice movie too. And so yeah, so I highly recommend this great movie. Personally, our 1 to 5 rating, 1 being the worst, 5 being the best, I'll give this a 4. I liked it a lot. Actually made it in between 4 or 5. It was good, entertaining, liked it a lot. And yeah. So, so usually if you're a new viewer, this is the part of the video where I go and kind of announce some news stuff. Well, first things first, there's not really much news to announce. Something really big has happened. But basically the major thing right now is that I'm filming the Minecraft Survival Islands. Or by when this comes out, I filmed them. And I didn't realize that it's going to be way longer than I thought it would. I was planning, only have 12, 14 episodes, still do like the post every other week, but it's probably going to be up in the 20s. So basically, over half of the year, actually basically 80% of next year, on every other Saturday, is going to be a Minecraft of that video series. So I've been thinking maybe, because the Man, the Myth, and the Legend series is very popular, just by our channel standards, like 2 views, that's popular, okay? So yeah, so I think I might actually move it to its own separate day, so we can just kind of get through it faster. But yeah, so I'll just kind of see how that all goes, because the history videos don't have a season. I just keep making them. I'm making them because they're technically a part of the channel name. Like, the plan is that at all costs we have a history, a review, and a gaming video series always going. Like, because it's the 3 of the, gaming, video games, history, and reviews. We always want to have 3 going. History doesn't really have a season kind of thing. I have been thinking about making a new history series called the Nutshell series. And what it is, it'd be like the Alamo in a nutshell. But the thing is, I talk about a lot of not famous stuff too. So I don't know if it, because I thought hey, I could do this, but I was thinking wait a minute. I do a lot of non-famous, not as famous stuff, I might do D-Day in a nutshell kind of thing. But I talk about how I think I just filmed a history video about the Alamo, so the Alamo in a nutshell. But then I do specials what if Titanic didn't, stuff like that. So that wouldn't work for that too. And also do the invented the sticky note. So do the invented sticky note in a nutshell, and I'm that's just kind of just doesn't sound right. So I don't know what to do there. But yeah. So thanks for watching. So please leave a like and subscribe if you have any comments, complaints, questions, answer to those questions, a good job or anything. And I respond to all of them most of the time. It depends just how I feel. Do I feel being lazy and not typing 3 words, or do you just feel nice and get back? And yeah, I don't know. So yeah, so I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.